Question 1. Who is primarily responsible for managing the product backlog to maximize the value of the product resulting from the work of the Scrum team? A. The Scrum Master. B. The development team. C. The product owner. D. The stakeholders. Answer: C. The product owner. The product owner is explicitly accountable for maximizing the value of the product resulting from the work of the Scrum team and for effective product backlog management. This includes creating, clearly communicating, ordering, and ensuring the product backlog is transparent and understood by all. The product owner acts as the bridge between the stakeholders and the development team, making crucial decisions about what features will be built. Remember, the product owner is the sole decision-maker for the product backlog's content and ordering. Question 2. What is the main purpose of the daily Scrum? A. To report progress to the product owner and Scrum Master. B. To discuss and resolve all technical impediments encountered by the development team. C. To inspect progress toward the sprint goal and adapt the sprint backlog as necessary. D. To plan work for the next sprint based on stakeholder feedback. Answer: C. To inspect progress toward the sprint goal and adapt the sprint backlog as necessary. The daily Scrum is a 15-minute time-boxed event for the development team to synchronize activities and create a plan for the next 24 hours. Its primary purpose is to inspect progress toward the sprint goal and adapt the sprint backlog, replanning the upcoming work as needed to optimize the team's ability to achieve the sprint goal. It's a quick internal planning meeting for the development team, not a status report to management. The key is adaptation and alignment towards the sprint goal. Question 3. What is the role of the Scrum Master during the sprint retrospective? A. To lead the team in assigning action items for future improvements. B. To ensure the event takes place and is positive, productive, and kept within the time box. C. To present metrics and data on team performance for review. D. To facilitate the discussion, making decisions on process improvements. Answer: B. To ensure the event takes place and is positive, productive, and kept within the time box. The Scrum Master acts as a servant leader, facilitating the sprint retrospective to ensure its purpose is understood and achieved by the Scrum team. This involves ensuring the event occurs, encouraging the team to improve their process, and keeping the discussion focused, positive, and within the 3-hour time box for a 1-month sprint. The Scrum Master does not make decisions for the team but rather guides them to identify and commit to improvements themselves. Think of the Scrum Master as the guardian of the event structure and positive environment. Question 4. Which of the following is not a core Scrum value? A. Focus. B. Commitment. C. Leadership. D. Openness. Answer: C. Leadership. The 5 core Scrum values are commitment, focus, openness, respect, and courage. These values underpin the Scrum roles, events, and artifacts, guiding how the Scrum team and stakeholders should behave and interact to embody the empirical pillars of transparency, inspection, and adaptation. While leadership is important in Scrum, it's a characteristic often exhibited by the Scrum Master or product owner, not one of the foundational values that frame the entire framework. Understanding these values is crucial because they foster the right mindset for effective Scrum implementation. Question 5. What does the term sprint goal refer to in Scrum? A. The target functionality that the product owner desires at the end of the sprint. B. A short, one-sentence description of what the team plans to achieve during the sprint. C. The total amount of work the development team estimates it can complete in a sprint. D. The highest priority item in the product backlog for the current sprint. Answer: B. A short, one-sentence description of what the team plans to achieve during the sprint. The sprint goal is a short, concise statement created during the sprint planning event that describes the business objective or purpose of the sprint. It provides guidance to the development team on why they are building the increment and offers flexibility regarding the specific work needed to achieve it. This single goal helps the team stay focused and make decisions throughout the sprint, providing a clear vision for the sprint's outcome. It serves as a true north, ensuring all work contributes to a unified purpose. Question 6. A development team member is consistently late to the daily Scrum. What should the Scrum Master do first? A. Remove the team member from the project. B. Publicly address the lateness during the daily Scrum. C. Coach the team member privately to understand the reason and the impact on the team. D. Inform the product owner about the team member's behavior. Answer: C. Coach the team member privately to understand the reason and the impact on the team. A Scrum Master acts as a coach and a servant leader, and their first approach to such a situation should be to address it privately and constructively. Coaching the individual allows for understanding the root cause of the behavior, explaining the importance of the daily Scrum for team synchronization, and collaboratively finding a solution. Publicly shaming or escalating immediately undermines trust and the self-organizing nature of the team. Always opt for coaching and direct communication first to foster a healthy team environment. Question 7. Which event provides an opportunity for the Scrum team and stakeholders to inspect the increment and adapt the product backlog if needed? A. Daily Scrum. B. Sprint retrospective. C. Sprint planning. D. Sprint review. Answer: D. Sprint review. The sprint review is held at the end of the sprint to inspect the increment and adapt the product backlog as needed. During this informal meeting, the Scrum team presents the results of their work to key stakeholders, and they collaborate on what to do next based on feedback and market conditions. This event is crucial for gathering feedback, ensuring transparency, and enabling empirical adaptation of the product based on real-world input. Think of it as a collaborative working session to refine the product's future direction. Question 8. What is the primary purpose of timeboxing events in Scrum? A. To ensure all work is completed within the sprint. B. To minimize overhead and ensure a consistent rhythm for the Scrum team. C. To provide a strict deadline for each activity. D. To measure team productivity and performance. Answer: B. To minimize overhead and ensure a consistent rhythm for the Scrum team. Timeboxing every event in Scrum, meaning each event has a maximum duration, ensures that a fixed amount of time is spent on planning, inspecting, and adapting. This helps to create a predictable cadence, minimize waste by preventing events from dragging on unnecessarily, and keep the team focused and productive. It's about establishing a sustainable pace and rhythm, rather than just imposing strict deadlines or measuring productivity, which are secondary effects. A consistent timebox keeps the team moving forward efficiently. Question 9. What is the recommended size for a development team in Scrum? A. No more than 3 members. B. 3 to 9 members, excluding the product owner and Scrum Master. C. As large as necessary to complete the sprint backlog. D. 5 to 11 members, including the product owner and Scrum Master. Answer: B. 3 to 9 members, excluding the product owner and Scrum Master. The optimal size for a development team is typically between 3 and 9 members, excluding the product owner and Scrum Master. This size range allows for sufficient diversity of skills and collaboration while minimizing coordination overhead, making the team more effective and self-organizing. Teams smaller than May 3 lack sufficient skills, and larger teams tend to experience increased communication complexity and reduced agility. The aim is to have a team that is small enough to remain nimble and cohesive, yet large enough to deliver a meaningful increment. Question 10. When should the sprint backlog be updated? A. Only during sprint planning. B. Only by the product owner. C. As new insights emerge and work progresses throughout the sprint. D. At the end of the sprint, before the sprint review. Answer: C. as new insights emerge and work progresses throughout the sprint. The sprint backlog is a highly transparent, real-time plan that the development team continuously updates throughout the sprint as new insights are gained and work progresses. It is owned and managed solely by the development team, reflecting their evolving understanding of how to achieve the sprint goal. This continuous adaptation demonstrates the empiricism of Scrum, allowing the team to inspect and adapt their plan as they learn more, rather than being rigidly fixed. It's a living artifact that reflects the team's ongoing progress and adjustments. Question 11. What is the Scrum Master's role regarding impediments that the development team faces? A. To remove all impediments themselves. B. To ensure the development team is aware of the impediments. C. To facilitate the team in identifying and removing impediments, or remove them if the team cannot. D. To document all impediments for future reference. Answer: C. To facilitate the team in identifying and removing impediments, or remove them if the team cannot. The Scrum Master serves the development team by removing impediments to their progress, or by helping the team find ways to remove them themselves. While they don't necessarily remove all impediments personally, they actively work to resolve issues that block the team, such as lack of resources, organizational obstacles, or technical blockers. The Scrum Master's goal is to keep the team highly productive and focused by clearing any obstacles that hinder their ability to deliver the increment. This often involves coaching the team to become more self-managing in dealing with common issues. Question 12. Who is responsible for all estimated work in the sprint backlog to achieve the sprint goal? A. The product owner. B. The development team. C. The Scrum Master. D. All members of the Scrum team collaboratively. Answer: B. The development team. The development team is solely responsible for creating, owning, and managing the sprint backlog, which includes all the estimated work required to achieve the sprint goal. They decide how the work will be done and continuously adjust their plan as they progress. Neither the product owner nor the Scrum Master dictates how the development team performs its work. They are self-organizing and manage their own tasks and progress. The team commits to the sprint goal, and the sprint backlog represents their plan to achieve it. Question 13. What happens if a development team discovers it cannot complete the sprint goal? A. The sprint is immediately cancelled. B. The development team must work overtime to meet the sprint goal. C. The development team should immediately inform the product owner and Scrum Master to discuss options. D. The Scrum Master should renegotiate the sprint goal with stakeholders. Answer: C. The development team should immediately inform the product owner and Scrum Master to discuss options. If the development team realizes it may not be able to achieve the sprint goal, they should immediately inform the product owner and Scrum Master. Together, the product owner and development team, with Scrum Master facilitation, will collaborate to renegotiate the scope of the sprint backlog to reach the sprint goal, or if absolutely necessary, reconsider the sprint goal itself. The key is early communication and collaborative problem solving to adapt the plan, rather than resorting to overtime or unilateral decisions. Question 14. What is the primary artifact used to manage emergent requirements and product features in Scrum? A. Sprint backlog. B. Burn-down chart. C. Product backlog. D. Increment. Answer: C. Product backlog. The product backlog is the single, authoritative source of all work to be done on the product, serving as a prioritized, ordered list of product requirements, features, functions, enhancements, and bug fixes. It is dynamic and constantly evolves as new insights emerge and stakeholder needs change, making it the primary artifact for managing emergent requirements and product features. The product owner is responsible for its content, availability, and ordering. Question 15. What is the optimal duration for a sprint? A. 4 weeks. B. As long as it takes to complete the increment. C. 1 month or less, consistently chosen by the Scrum team. D. 2 weeks for software projects, 4 weeks for hardware projects. Answer, C, 1 month or less, consistently chosen by the Scrum team. Sprints have a consistent duration of 1 month or less, chosen by the Scrum team. This consistent timebox provides a predictable rhythm, promotes frequent inspection and adaptation, and limits risk by reducing complexity. The goal is to create a done increment at least once every calendar month. Consistency in sprint length helps the team learn their capacity and provides predictable opportunities for planning, review, and retrospection. Question 16. Who determines how work is done during a sprint? A. The product owner. B. The Scrum Master. C. The development team. D. The project manager. Answer, C. The development team. The development team is a self-organizing and cross-functional unit that is solely responsible for how the work gets done during the sprint. They decide which members will work on specific tasks and how they will best achieve the sprint goal. Neither the product owner nor the Scrum Master dictates the how. Their roles are to define what, product owner, and facilitate the process, Scrum Master. This autonomy empowers the team and promotes efficient problem solving. Question 17. What is the definition of done in Scrum? A. When the product owner accepts the increment. B. A formal description of the state of the increment when it meets the quality measures required for the product. C. When all sprint backlog items are completed. D. When the development team believes they have finished their work. Answer, B. A formal description of the state of the increment when it meets the quality measures required for the product. The definition of done is a shared understanding within the Scrum team of what it means for work to be complete and of high quality, consistent with the expected standards for the product. It creates transparency by providing a common understanding of what work was completed as part of the increment and is used to assess when work on the product backlog item is complete. If multiple Scrum teams are working on the same product, they must share the same definition of done to ensure consistency. Question 18. What is the role of the Scrum Master in sprint planning? A. To ensure that the team commits to enough items for the sprint. B. To facilitate the event, ensuring it's conducted effectively and within the time box. C. To define the sprint goal for the development team. D. To present the highest priority product backlog items to the team. Answer, B. To facilitate the event, ensuring it's conducted effectively and within the time box. The Scrum Master facilitates the sprint planning event, ensuring that it occurs and that all participants understand its purpose and mechanics. They help the Scrum team understand the need for a clear sprint goal and product backlog items, but they do not dictate the content or commit the team to work. The Scrum Master's role is to serve the team by coaching them through the process, removing impediments, and ensuring they have all the information needed to create a viable sprint backlog. Question 19. During a sprint, a stakeholder identifies a critical bug in the production environment. What is the best course of action? A. The Scrum Master adds the bug to the top of the current sprint backlog immediately. B. The development team stops current work and immediately fixes the bug. C. The product owner assesses the bug, prioritizes it, and decides if it should be added to the current sprint or a future sprint. D. The bug is automatically added to the next sprint's product backlog. Answer, C. The product owner assesses the bug, prioritizes it, and decides if it should be added to the current sprint or a future sprint. The product owner is accountable for the product backlog and its ordering, making them the sole person who can decide what goes into the product and in what priority. When a critical bug is identified, the product owner assesses its urgency and impact, then decides whether it's so critical it warrants interruption of the current sprint, e.g., by canceling the sprint or adjusting its scope collaboratively with the development team, or if it can wait for a future sprint. The product owner ensures that any changes to the product backlog or sprint backlog are aligned with maximizing value. Question 20. Which principle does the sprint retrospective primarily support? A. self-organization. B. Empiricism. C. Transparency. D. Continuous improvement. Answer: D. Continuous improvement. The sprint retrospective is a formal opportunity for the Scrum team to inspect itself and create a plan for improvements to be enacted during the next sprint. This event is specifically designed to support continuous improvement by identifying what went well, what could be improved, and what specific actions the team will take to enhance their processes, tools, and interactions. It's the dedicated Scrum event for adapting and optimizing the team's way of working. Question 21. What is the primary purpose of the product backlog refinement activity? A. To finalize the product backlog for the next sprint. B. To ensure product backlog items are detailed, estimated, and ordered appropriately for future sprints. C. To commit to the work for the upcoming sprint. D. To resolve all technical dependencies before sprint planning. Answer: B. To ensure product backlog items are detailed, estimated, and ordered appropriately for future sprints. Product backlog refinement is an ongoing activity where the product owner and development team collaboratively add detail, estimates, and order to product backlog items. This prepares items to be ready for future sprints, making them clear, concise, and understandable for the development team. It is not a formal Scrum event but a continuous activity that can consume up to 10% of the development team's capacity during a sprint. This preparation ensures smooth and efficient sprint planning sessions. Question 22. What is the main responsibility of the Scrum Master concerning organizational impediments? A. To ignore them if they are outside the Scrum team's control. B. To remove them immediately, regardless of the impact. C. To coach the organization in its adoption of Scrum, sometimes working with other Scrum Masters to reduce impediments. D. To document them and present them to senior management once a quarter. Answer: C. To coach the organization in its adoption of Scrum, sometimes working with other Scrum Masters to reduce impediments. A Scrum Master serves the organization by leading and coaching it in its Scrum adoption, helping employees and stakeholders understand and enact Scrum and empirical product development. This often involves identifying and helping to remove organizational impediments that hinder the effectiveness of Scrum teams. They may collaborate with other Scrum Masters or management to address systemic issues, fostering an environment where Scrum can thrive. The role extends beyond just the team to improving the wider organizational context. Question 23. Which Scrum artifact represents the sum of all the product backlog items completed during a sprint and the value of the increments of all previous sprints? A. Product backlog. B. Sprint backlog. C. Increment. D. Burn-down chart. Answer: C. Increment. The increment is the sum of all product backlog items completed during a sprint and the value of the increments of all previous sprints. It is a concrete step toward the sprint goal and must be done, meaning it is usable and meets the definition of done, regardless of whether the product owner chooses to release it immediately. Each increment is additive to all prior increments and thoroughly verified, ensuring that all pieces of work integrate to form a coherent, valuable product. Question 24. What best describes the Scrum Master's accountability within a Scrum team? A. Directing the development team on what to work on. B. Managing stakeholder expectations and product releases. C. Ensuring Scrum is understood and enacted, and coaching the team and organization. D. Maximizing the value of the product and managing the product backlog. Answer: C. Ensuring Scrum is understood and enacted, and coaching the team and organization. The Scrum Master is accountable for establishing Scrum as defined in the Scrum Guide. They do this by helping everyone understand Scrum theory, practices, rules, and values, and by coaching the Scrum team and the wider organization in their adoption and implementation of Scrum. This role is focused on process, facilitation, and removing impediments to help the team perform at its best, rather than dictating work or managing product content. Question 25. During the sprint, the development team realizes they have more capacity than initially estimated. What should they do? A. Ask the product owner for more work to add to the sprint. B. Bring additional, ready, product backlog items into the sprint and self-organize the work. C. Take a break or engage in non-sprint related activities. D. Inform the Scrum Master that the sprint goal needs to be expanded. Answer: B. Bring additional, ready, product backlog items into the sprint and self-organize the work. If the development team finds they have additional capacity within a sprint, they should pull in additional, ready, meaning refined and understood, product backlog items that align with the sprint goal or are next in priority. This demonstrates their self-organizing nature and commitment to maximizing value delivery within the sprint. The team collaborates with the product owner to select these items and updates the sprint backlog accordingly, always aiming to deliver the most valuable increment possible.